Building a structure in a dense, humid canopy requires clearing a path first. Every piece of material will need to be carried through this tangled undergrowth. Visibility is low, and the terrain is unforgiving. Before structural work begins, assessing the available resources is critical. The forest dictates the scale of the build. A heavy blade serves as the primary tool for shaping this environment. Thick ferns and damp soil obscure potential hazards, meaning every step must be deliberate to preserve energy. Establishing the initial footprint requires clearing the immediate radius of deadwood. A controlled fire serves multiple functions beyond warmth. The smoke acts as a natural deterrent against insects, which swarm thickly in stagnant, humid air. Managing the burn rate ensures a steady smolder while keeping the flames contained. Safety is paramount. Fallen timber provides a natural foundation, but it must be tested for rot. Clearing away the surface debris exposes the structural integrity of the wood. Moisture trapped under moss accelerates decay, so removing the organic layer is the first step in claiming a solid anchor point. Only sound, dry timber can bear the weight of an elevated platform. Live trees offer the strongest possible anchors for an off-grid frame. By wedging thick green branches between the trunks, the builder establishes a load-bearing axis. Green wood is highly flexible. It resists snapping under sudden tension. Securing these primary crossbeams high off the ground protects the shelter from dampness and scavengers. The height also captures cross breezes that the dense undergrowth blocks. Every joint must sit level to ensure the platform doesn't warp as weight is added. Driving heavy nails directly into the living wood creates a fixed point. The tree will eventually heal around the metal, embedding it permanently into the trunk. This transforms the trees from mere supports into a living, shifting foundation. Precision here dictates the stability of everything above it. Bamboo is a highly efficient building material, boasting a tensile strength comparable to steel. Harvesting it requires clean, angled cuts to prevent the hollow fibers from splintering. A sharp machete effortlessly slices through the green stalks, leaving a smooth edge. These poles will form the core scaffolding of the treehouse. Freshly cut bamboo is heavy with water, making it pliable. With the poles arranged, the focus shifts to creating lateral stability. A platform supported only by vertical pillars is vulnerable to shear forces. Fitting cross braces between the main vertical drops creates a rigid geometric lock. Triangles distribute weight evenly across the entire frame. Driving nails into bamboo requires caution. Striking too near the end of a stalk can split the entire piece. Aiming for the dense nodes, where the internal fibers interlock, provides maximum holding power. Moving to the upper canopy, horizontal beams are lashed and nailed to form the ceiling joists. This upper ring binds the living trees together, forcing them to move as a single unit in the wind. Trimming the ends flush against the bark prevents snagging and ensures a tight, friction-based fit. The skeleton of the shelter is now fully self-supporting. It works with the forest, not against it. Working at this height limits leverage. Straddling the thickest branches allows the builder to use her body weight for stability. Each nail driven into the upper canopy reinforces the structural box. The higher the frame reaches, the more it sways, demanding perfectly driven anchors. Preparing the roof supports demands precise measurement. A handsaw provides cleaner cuts than a machete, which is crucial for flush joints on the upper tier. Securing the upper poles forms the base for the pitched roof. This framework must be robust enough to carry the dead weight of a heavier thatched canopy. Every connection point multiplies the overall rigidity. When driving fasteners into green bamboo, the moisture acts as a temporary lubricant. As the wood dries and shrinks over the coming weeks, it will clamp down tightly around the metal. This natural curing process strengthens the joints without any extra hardware. The overhead grid is finally locked into place. A level floor is critical for distributing live loads evenly. Laying the bamboo poles side by side creates a highly durable, ribbed decking. The natural curve of the stalks provides a slight spring, absorbing impact. Trimming the ends ensures the platform remains perfectly square within the uneven tree trunks. Transitioning to the vertical walls requires careful alignment. Cutting a custom notch into the base of the upright poles allows them to sit securely over the rounded floor joists. This saddle notch technique prevents lateral slipping. Once nailed securely, these vertical posts outline the interior volume of the room. They serve as the anchor points for the impending roof structure. The addition of a top plate binds the vertical posts together. This completes the rectangular envelope of the living space. Stepping back allows the builder to visually verify the lines of the structure. Even a slight lean at the base will magnify into a serious, unstable structural flaw near the peak. Sharpening the ends of the bamboo creates a wedge that can be driven tightly into the joints. The roof shifts to a classic A-frame design. This steep pitch is a deliberate defense against heavy tropical rain, forcing water to shed rapidly rather than pool. Joining the rafters at a central peak transfers the downward force outward into the load-bearing walls. Symmetry here is not just aesthetic, it balances the immense weight of the incoming thatch. With the main rafters set, horizontal slats are added to create a mounting grid. These purlins cross the rafters at regular intervals, tying the entire A-frame together. Spacing them precisely ensures the thatching materials will have consistent tie-down points. The flexibility of thinner bamboo allows it to follow the slight natural bow of the roof line. Reaching the upper sections requires working entirely from the inside. Securing the upper slats locks the structural geometry in place. Every nail driven reduces the side-to-side sway of the peak. The dense grid is designed to support not just the roofing material, but the wind loads pressing against it. The final high slat finishes the skeletal phase. What began as a chaotic scatter of raw timber is now a highly ordered geometric enclosure. The frame defines an isolated pocket of calm high above the jungle floor. It stands ready to be sealed against the elements. The hardest structural labor is complete. Broad palm leaves serve as a highly effective natural shingle. The waxy surface of the fronds naturally repels moisture. By placing them horizontally across the slatted grid, the builder creates a waterproof canopy. Each leaf must be tied firmly to the bamboo purlins to prevent strong updrafts from tearing them loose. It is a slow, methodical layering process. With the layers overlapped from the bottom up, water will seamlessly cascade down the pitch. Working from the exterior, the overhanging fronds are trimmed clean. Removing the ragged edges prevents the wind from catching the leaves and unraveling the tight weave. A sturdy railing transforms the open platform from a hazard into a usable living space. Positioning a heavy bamboo pole horizontally establishes the guardrail height. Nailing it directly into the thick corner posts transfers any leaning weight straight down into the primary trees. This barrier also outlines a clear perimeter for the enclosed sleeping quarters. Adding vertical balusters reinforces the horizontal span, preventing it from bowing outward. The structural integrity of the balcony is essential, as it will serve as the primary workspace for processing food and materials. It acts as a safe transition zone between the wild jungle and the inner shelter. The dense bamboo floor provides a flat, stable surface for detailed finish work. Carving down the outer skin of a bamboo pole exposes the softer, fibrous interior. This process requires a blade with a steep bevel, shaving away the rigid nodes. Thinning the wood makes it significantly more flexible, preparing it for complex weaving. Standing up to fit the prepared poles confirms the exact dimensions of the wall frames. The structure is now strong enough that the builder can move freely, without unsettling the joints. Everything is locked in tension. Splitting the bamboo into long, pliable ribbons is the first step in crafting the solid walls. These flexible strips will interlock, transforming open air into a solid, wind-blocking barrier. The weaving pattern alternates tension between the vertical and horizontal strips. As the ribbons cross under and over, they bind each other tightly. This lattice design is inherently strong, capable of deflecting debris and absorbing impacts without shattering. The dense matrix also acts as a thermal break, trapping cooler air inside the shaded room while blocking direct tropical sunlight. The rapid repetition of the weave slowly turns the skeletal frame into an opaque surface. Each new strip tightens the overall panel, forcing the gaps closed. This traditional technique requires no nails, relying entirely on the inherent spring tension of the green bamboo. Pushing the final strips through the lattice seals the enclosure. From the outside, the finished treehouse blends seamlessly into the green canopy. The thatched roof, woven walls, and elevated deck form a highly secure, off-grid outpost. It is a completely self-contained stronghold. With the shelters secured, the balcony immediately becomes a functional workbench. Trimming down raw poles up here is safer and cleaner than working in the tangled brush below. The elevation provides clear sight lines. Splitting thick bamboo requires exploiting the natural grain of the wood. By driving the machete into the end grain, a single twist of the wrist forces the entire length to fracture evenly. This rhythmic splitting yields straight, hollow halves, which are incredibly versatile for crafting utensils and cooking vessels. Survival in this environment pivots from shelter to sustenance. The damp soil of the slope holds hidden resources. Using a sharpened stick to probe the earth minimizes the risk of damaging delicate tubers. It also keeps hands clear of venomous insects hiding under the leaf litter. The dense jungle floor requires patience to yield its calories. Clearing away the decaying organic matter reveals a cluster of wild forest fruits. These reddish-brown berries thrive in the highly acidic soil near the base of large trees. A broad green leaf serves as an impromptu basket. Foraging demands careful identification. Selecting only the ripe, undisturbed fruits ensures they are safe for consumption. The harvest is small but vital. A steady source of flowing water is the lifeblood of any off-grid camp. The bamboo pipe channels a clean stream away from the muddy embankment. Washing the foraged fruits removes soil pathogens and bitter tannins. Arranging the cleaned ingredients keeps the impromptu kitchen organized. Vigorous scrubbing under the flowing tap ensures the larger fruits are free of grit. With the forage cleaned, the leaf basket is bundled tightly to protect the hard-won calories. Returning to the treehouse signifies the end of the exposure phase. The wooden ladder, though rough, provides a secure vertical escape from the damp forest floor. Carrying supplies up into the canopy is the ultimate payoff for the grueling structural labor. The elevated room is dry, defensible, and ready to function as a home base. The transition from gathering to processing begins. Fresh bamboo shoots are tough and fibrous. Slicing them thin breaks down the cellulose, allowing them to cook faster and absorb flavor. The dense flesh of the wild fruit must be quartered. Exposing the inner core ensures an even heat distribution during cooking. Every calorie gathered from the forest is carefully prepared to maximize its nutritional yield. Green bamboo makes a perfect natural pressure cooker. Its thick walls hold immense moisture, preventing the tube from catching fire while resting directly on the coals. Packing the sliced shoots and protein-rich larvae tightly into the cylinder trap steam inside. This slow roasting method softens the tough fibers and infuses the food with the grassy aroma of the bamboo. Stirring the elevated fire introduces necessary oxygen, pushing the ambient heat toward a rolling boil. Consuming the hot meal inside the finished shelter completes the survival loop. The elevated floor keeps the workspace clean and free of crawling insects. Eating from a leaf basket eliminates the need to wash heavy cookware. Every element of this camp, from the walls to the cooking vessels, was pulled directly from the surrounding ecosystem. The energy spent harvesting and building is finally being replenished. The quiet canopy offers a stark contrast to the grueling physical labor of the past few days. With the structural work complete and food secured, the pace of the jungle slows. The woven bamboo walls diffuse the harsh afternoon light into a soft, calming shade. In the end, structure, landscape, and daily routine operate as one system. This elevated stronghold provides more than just basic survival. It is a quiet, self-sustaining space carved out of absolute wilderness. The true value of the build is the security to finally rest.